What's up guys, back with another video. I've got started but I thought I might as well make a video on what I'm doing. Got the missus's car here. As you can see the dash is half put apart, but I'll show you the stereo itself. There's no display coming up. Now sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the stereo out and see if there's a loose wire or just a dodgy wire or something. But to get to this point where I'm at, you unclip this from here. You start at the left side. Just pry it with a trim remove tool. If you don't have one, use a flathead, but be very careful. Then it gets to this point. When you get to this, have it all unclipped, you got to put it in gear, or sorry, turn it to the on position. Take it out of gear because otherwise it's got a lockout. You can't move it. Then you pull that down into drive, obviously with the car off. Pull that piece out, put it aside, put it in park. Turn the ignition back off and put the keys to the side. I'll put this back in quickly and show you. Then you've got some screws. You've got a screw here. Screw here. I didn't know if you have to take them out, but I took them out just in case. So you got two screws there, and then two screws, I don't know how much you can see, there and there. Then you undo them and then this will just pull out like that. Then just take a photo of your clips back here. That obviously isn't a thing, so you don't have to worry about that, but there's three clips here, or three wires, sorry, here. Take a photo of them before you get rid of them, and another wire up under there. So I'll get them off and get back to you. Alright, so I've got this out. Take a look at the back. Well, that was a bit of a stuff up, wasn't it? Yeah, there are your three plugs there, and one up there. They should stay in the order that you unplug them in, just because of the wiring, the way the wire coating, or the stuff that covers a wire, that stuff there. It should keep it like the way it came out, but just take a photo of it just in case. Now, by the looks of it, we've got two screws up here, a screw there, and a screw there. And then we should be able to pull the stereo out. So let's just get these undone and get the stereo out. I'll get back to you once I've got it undone. It's a bit hard to do on camera. Alright guys, got the four screws out. Just be careful with them there. Which one was it? Sorry, let me find it, that one. They're not the strongest of screws, so just be careful. Make sure you got a fitted screwdriver. Yeah, they're a bit of a pain in the ass. The only one I've got is this dumpy screwdriver. It's not fitted to that screw, so yeah, kind of stripped it. So just be careful, make sure you got the right size screw, and there we go. So you should just pull out. That's the back of it. That's the hole. So I'll turn the car on, and I think, yeah, see how we go. Messed with the wiring, actually, sorry, no, don't do that. I'm going to unplug the stereo and just check all the fittings, make sure they're all tight. So I'll be back with you in a sec. Alright, so luckily for me the gear sticks are perfect height to rest the stereo itself on. This is an OEM stereo, so there's nothing special about it, unfortunately. So just going to pull this out quickly. And make sure all the pins inside the plug are good. And as you can see, no corrosion. All the pins in there look good. So plug it back in and see how we go. Maybe it's needed to be unplugged and plugged back in, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back up in the hole. Just plug, I'm not going to screw this in, I'm just going to put all the plugs in so it doesn't throw an error code or an error fault or anything. Never start the car when you've got, or even put the ignition on, keep the keys out of the ignition when you've got plugs like this out, just because that could be something major, and if it starts up without them, or ignition turns on without them plugged in, it could throw a fault or a code on the dash, and then you'd have to go in and it'll cost more to get it fixed than it was just to leave it alone. So give me a sec, I'll get all this back, back together and see if we fixed it. Alright, and as you can see, it didn't fix a thing. So it must be a internal problem with the display. I thought it might have been a bunky wire, just because sometimes the screen works, sometimes it doesn't, after you've turned it off and on a few times. So it's just, yeah, so as you can see it, yeah, it works when it wants to and then it doesn't. So I think it just needs a new stereo. So a bit unfortunate we couldn't fix it, but I guess this is how things like this go. I guess it's just an internal circuit board error or something. So I hope the missus knows. She'll probably leave it for now, and then when we got the money to get a new stereo, we'll chuck an aftermarket deck or something in it. Alright, well I'll get this back together and be back with you in a sec. Alright guys, as you can see it's all back together. Just push all this back in. Might be a little bit of a bastard to get in, might have to use a clip or two, but as you can see it's back in, so we're good. Alright guys, top section here's back on, the two screws in there are back together. close that down, I'll just slap in these screws here. Make sure you put all the screws that came out of the spot back into the place they came from. So these wider ones went on here, and the skinnier ones went on the inside. I think someone had pulled this apart before just because this is the way it was, and all the screws were sort of, they didn't feel torqued or anything like that. That's a way of telling if a car's been not tampered with, but I guess tampered with in this sense. To tell if someone's had the car apart before, it might have been just a simple, I don't know, actually, to be honest, but yeah, looks like it's been apart before just because there's a few cracks in that little wood grain, and some of these screws weren't tight. Usually that's a sign it's been into it, so maybe the person before us just tried doing what I've just done, or tried to do, and didn't succeed. So that's the top part back together. I'll show you this thing here in reverse so you've got an idea. See, all the plugs are back in now, so I can put the ignition on. So you don't want to start it, you just want to go till the dash lights come up. So first, second click. With this model you have to put your foot on the brake, then so you can put it down into drive, make sure your handbrake's up, unlike me. Now this one has a plug on the ashtray for the light, so give me a sec, I'll get all that plug in and I'll be back with you. Alright, so that plug's back in, so now that'll just slide back into there. Then you can put your car back up into park, foot on the brake, off the brake, car off. And then the clips are a bit of a pain in the bum, but they should clip in fairly easy. It's just a matter of lining the clip holes up and giving it a bit of a helping hand. See, there we go. Ashtray still works good. And then this just slides back up, clips back in. There we go. Bit of tape there, I don't know why that's there for. This didn't have this, I'll show you. There's meant to be a screw in there. It didn't have one, so I'll go in my toolbox and see if there's a spare screw I've got just to fix that up. So, as you can see, it's back together. It doesn't look like it's been apart. Unfortunately, it didn't fix our problem with the LED display, but not much I can do about that. So I'll be back in a sec. Alright guys, I couldn't find a screw, so I just chucked a zip tie in it for now. Fixes the problem, doesn't look untidy. Don't really notice it from up here unless he pointed out. So yeah, that's about it for this one. Bit of a fail, but not much I can do about that. So thanks for watching, and at least now people who watch this know that it's how to take a stereo out of one of these. So I suppose that's a bonus. Alright, well that's the end of this one. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.